You're listening to the Blue Sky Radio. Blue Sky Radio.
Beautiful blue skies.
Bonga na MG Deluxe Boutique kwenye studio na Katie White bado kwenye microphone. Yeah.
Hello.
You're learning Swahili now?
Just a couple words.
I hear you catch that one. We're like, yeah. All right. As I was saying, we're back with Katie White, one of our guests today, and we were asking. I remember a question that we were stopping on. Let's move on.
Okay.
I had a question, and I was about to ask you about how do you think you will be engaging families, especially when they have meeting with the school counselor or school board of teacher or whatever. How do you think we'll be engaging clients, convincing them to join those meetings? Most of the parents who are uneducated or illiterate, I can say.
That's a great question. So it all starts with relationships.
Yes.
You have to build trust with people, no matter who they are, because what you're essentially asking is to be an extra person involved in a probably very private situation, maybe between the child and the parent, or the child and the teacher. And so who am I, right? I'm just this girl who is trying to help. But I think, as with any social worker or any counselor or teacher or service person who's there, to fireman, policeman, you just have to know that the heart is there. The heart is in the right place. And so the relationship starts building on trust through conversation. So, of course, before I would ever accompany a family to a meeting with a teacher, we would have a conversation separately and talk about what are your expectations of this meeting. Here are some things. Here are your rights as a parent. Here are the teacher's rights as a teacher.
Yes.
Here are the rules. Do you have questions? Are there things you're not clear about? Is there something I can answer before we go? And just kind of give them some background knowledge of what to expect, and then just be available.
Right.
Okay, now, the teachers and those people who they really don't know the story of immigrants, and they don't have any idea of their background or whatever. Do you have any material that you already create that will be teaching them? Like, it will be kind of a cultural orientation thing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so that's something I've actually been kind of collecting over the years as I come across it, because I'm not the first person to notice that there are immigrants in America. So there's a lot of cultural orientation stuff already out there, especially for families coming from certain areas of the world. Like the Congolese have experienced these kinds of things, and this is why they're coming here, versus Afghanis who are coming here. This is what they've experienced, and this is why they're coming. And then, so there's literature out there. So what I would like to do is, let's say I have a family who approaches me and wants my help. I would immediately reach out to that teacher too, and say who I am and what I'm doing and why I'm involved, and maybe separately meet with the teacher too and just have a chat with him about this family or what they're noticing in the classroom with this kid, and any way that I can be of assistance to help educate the teacher.
Okay. There is a lot of people listening to us right now. What can you tell other Americans or other people who doesn't know about how immigrants struggle in this country whenever they don't know English, or they don't know like the language that is being spoken like on their area that they're living? What can you tell them?
I would just say, don't ever judge a book by its cover.
Correct.
And don't ever assume you've walked a mile in anyone else's shoes, because you probably haven't. And so, that commandment, love thy neighbor, Jesus said, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. I think that's one of the big things that resonates with me is, give people a chance. Get to know who they are and what they stand for. And even if you disagree or you don't understand, I think it's a good jumping off point to just know your neighbor better.
All right. And my next question will be due to the climate that we're living in now in America. It is now like spreading like wildfire. Like we just we're in a wake of two shooting in Dayton, Ohio, and in El Paso, Texas. How do you think your work will make an impact in a community, especially in this kind of climates. You really focus on school. Do you think you can expand this in other area just to let people know more, expose them?
Informing people like what's going on for those people who doesn't know like English, like those families. Let's say maybe there is a massive shooting like in their area, but they don't understand it. They may turn on their TVs, but they don't understand.
Yeah.
So do you have have you think something like that too that can be beneficial to them?
So I haven't really thought of it in a more global.
You're listening to the Blue Sky Radio. Blue Sky Radio.
Beautiful blue skies.
The Blue Sky Radio. We've been dreaming for this. Now we're here. You've been looking for the place to promote your small business. The Blue Sky Radio is the best place to promote your small business. The Blue Sky Radio. The Blue Sky Radio. We the best.
Sense, because education is my expertise.
Yes.
And I always feel like that's the key to knowledge and the key to freedom is starting there. Whatever education that looks like. Does it have to be in a classroom, and does it have to be with kids? No. It doesn't. So yeah, I mean, I guess my short answer would be educating people in general about those who are different is kind of what makes my heart beat.
Okay.
Yeah. And it might play a bigger role, especially for me. I was focusing with the climate that we have. It might make a very big role in changing people's view about immigrant. Of course, yes, America is a loving place that welcome a lot of people. If they weren't, that I wouldn't be here right now. I could be somewhere in Uganda refugee camp and doing whatever I was doing there. But it's because of their heart of welcoming. That's why I'm here, and I got an opportunity of broadcasting news in this studio.
Yeah.
But again, so we live in a climate where some people, they just they don't. I think they don't know really what immigrant is. They have some worst idea and evil idea that they want. They want to put a lot of people in the box and say, okay, this group of people doesn't like this other group of people, and that creates more of the evil events, like the one that I just said from El Paso in here. So I was thinking in your role, like will be a way that you might meet even with other people and spread the good news about refugee, because aside of them being helped only to come here, as you work with refugee for few years, you might know some good things that refugees have done and contribute to the society.
And the food. The food is delicious.
Especially the food, right?
That's my favorite part. But and I think not only myself knowing something, but that I need to spread what I know as an American person. And a lot of times I'd bring my kids along wherever we're going, whatever we're doing with immigrant populations, whether it's a volunteer opportunity or a work function or something, letting my kids, my own children, see that this is my brother, this is my sister. This is not just some person who speaks Swahili,
Yeah, we've been to 2 events with your kids, I remember. One was we deliver meals.
Yeah.
And another one was Eid.
The Eid dinner.
Eid dinner, right, at Interface, right? Yeah. That's a very good practice, actually. And they kind of know people, and they interact with people from the very earlier age.
Yeah, and the more that you do that as a parent, to any, your children, my children, rubbing elbows with other kids who don't look or speak like them, the better. Like that's better, because then it becomes this really beautiful friendship that can be bridged past the language barriers, past the cultural barriers, because kids are kids.
Yeah, there is another thing that people doesn't know about immigrants. There is just a lot of stuff that immigrants have done in this country. It's not just they have been born here, like my kids were born in America. There is other people that they were born in Africa.
Yeah,
but they came here and they do so much good.
You're listening to the Blue Sky Radio. Blue Sky Radio.
Beautiful blue skies.
Stuff.
Magnificent thing.
Yeah, but because I have my brother. Like my brother is building an app. The app that he's doing, actually, you wanna help other students. It's not just immigrants. He's helping other students to communicate. So it's like the connection between parents and teachers
Cool.
and students at the same time, so students can know like what is going on, like how is the students, their kids are doing in school, and how can the teachers can report if there is something going on with the students in school. They can communicate with their parent. Actually something really good. And I'm gonna tell you, he was born in Africa.
Yeah, of course.
Like he came in America like 9 years ago.
And there's story after story like that where people who weren't born here are doing great things, magnificent things that I would never think of. And just because they have roots somewhere else doesn't make them any less.
Now, Katie White, as my question, because I see the time is going. When people want to reach you, what's the best way to reach you?
Okay. So I've given you my business card.
Right.
The best way would be my phone.
Your phone?
Yeah, and it's
The direct phone right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can accept text messages too. And if they want to speak Swahili in the text message, I can figure that out somehow.
How to translate? Google Translate is there.
When is your organization is already?
Yes, an established
Active?
organization. Yes. So it's called White House.
White House, I can see here.
Educational Consulting. It's a silly name, but it's also a name that it's kind of an inside joke at my house because our last name is White.
Academic Navigation for Immigrant Children and Families.
Yeah.
Wow.
Serving the Greater Houston area. Oh, that's really, really good. Now, if parents, like we are in back to school time.
Now's the time to register your kids for school.
Yes, if parents want to reach you, how can they reach you and get services for now?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the way to reach you is from your phone number, text message, or call.
That's right.
Now, do you have any message about back to school too?
Yeah, so pay attention to the Meet the Teacher night, the back to school nights. Make sure that you go. Introduce yourself to the teacher. Let your kids see the school on the inside with you there, so that they feel safe and comfortable and they're ready to go. Ask the teacher for any school supplies that are needed beforehand so that you're ready to go. If you need help with those kinds of things, schools a lot of times put aside extra things for kids who can't afford to buy their own.
Yes.
Any help that you need with bus schedules or transportation. Where do I drop my kid off in the morning? Where do I pick them up after school? What time does the bell ring? Those are questions that you need to be asking at this point in the year.
All right, Katie White. America is mourning.
Oh, yes.
Texas is mourning. Daytime Ohio, we are mourning our people that lost their lives in different places, shopping mall and Walmart. And what's a message that you want to give to other mother who lost their children, other American who lost their loved one, the immigrant community? What's the message that you have for them?
Don't lose hope.
All right.
Don't lose hope. Have mercy on your brother and your sister, and always forgive.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Katie White, well, welcome again. Another day when you feel like coming to our house.
I think I have one more question.
Oh, yeah?
I wanted to ask if you are welcoming other volunteers to help you.
Anytime, yes.
Okay.
And that same phone number, you can reach out to me that way too. Hey, I want to help. What can I do?
Can you read us the phone number again?
The phone number here is 832-356-4711. That's the phone number. You can reach Katie White on that one. And then if you want to volunteer, you want to talk to her about the matter, you can reach her out.
And I have an email address too that's on there.
Yeah. The email address is
it's kind of complicated.
Oh my God, it's very long. Navigation for your education @gmail.com.
And the 4 is a number 4.
Oh yeah, the 4 is number 4. Yes. Actually, now we'll be back again if you ever give us that time, especially when your website start working.
Yeah,
and then you
website
can
will
come
be
back here and explain people how to navigate your website.
Perfect.
All right, thank you very much,
Thank
our
you.
listeners, and this will be the end of our interview today. Nashukuru sana wapendwa wasikilizaji, na ndio tutakuwa mwisho wa matangazo yetu ya leo. Tukutane tena baadaye kwa siku nyingine, nitakuwa na nyingine interview part ya kwake. Asante sana.
Majaliwa.
Asante.
You're listening to the Blue Sky Radio. Blue Sky Radio.
Beautiful blue skies.
The Blue Sky Radio We've been dreaming for this. Now we're here. You've been looking for the place to promote your small business. The Blue Sky Radio is the best place to promote your small business. The Blue Sky Radio. The Blue Sky Radio. We the best.